Today on Behind the Bloom, we're talking orchids and RJ's recent visit to the Chicago Botanical Gardens Orchid Show. RJ will tell us all about this amazing orchid event, and we'll learn more about the history of the Cattleya orchid in Jay's family tree. Get ready for a fun episode that revolves around orchids today on Behind the Bloom. Orchid plants are a wonderful addition to any home and an impressive addition to any cut flower arrangement. Blooming orchid plants or cut stems of orchid blossoms both provide health and wellness benefits. For example, reducing arguments in our home or inspiring more creative ideas and solutions in our workspace, or simply reducing stress and creating happier thoughts. Check in with your local flower seller and see what orchids they have that you can add to your home, work, or creative space. Cal Flowers is a proud sponsor of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom and Behind the Bloom podcast, where flowers and wellness go hand in hand.
All right. Hey, Jay. How's it going?
Hello, RJ. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about the Orchid Show at the Chicago Botanic Garden on this one.
I am too. You and Amanda went.
Yeah.
You make me want to go.
Yeah.
So that's very good.
Okay.
And I want to learn more about this because I don't know a lot. My Bloom 365 tip has to do with orchids. It's kind of odd, but it's 174 from Bloom 365 called Rock On. Place a layer of rocks or decorative stones in the bottom of your vase to provide a structure to support flower stems and help hold flowers in place when arranged. We have a show on UBloom about making an arrangement with orchids in this long rectangular container that has like a little elevated stone thing at one end. And so I'll put that in the comments because then this will let you see a visual of what, and in Bloom 365, there's a picture of it as well.
Okay.
But I thought I can link that in the comments. So I'll remember that there's probably a dozen or 24 links every week.
Right. Mm-hmm.
From what we talk about that you can go and learn more. And so, and I put in Wikipedia pages for you. I put in where you can buy things. And we just put those in the comments in the description. So every service that this is on has those links there too, so that you can follow those and learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because we're only here for a half hour.
Right. Yeah.
And we need to tell you all about everything.
Yeah. And we hope this inspires people to go investigate things and go do all this stuff on their own. So it's so helpful that you leave all that for everyone.
And learn.
Yeah.
Learn something.
Yeah.
Learn something. My grandpa said, learn something and laugh. If you haven't laughed today, get up. And if you haven't learned something, get up because your day's not over. So you got to learn something and laugh every day.
We are recording. Today is Friday the 13th. We haven't acknowledged that yet. And when I told you, I was like, Jay, are you okay with recording on Friday the 13th? And you told me you love Friday the 13th.
I don't mind at all. I just think it's hysterical,
Yeah.
I think when you give stuff energy, whether it's good things or bad things, you make that happen.
Right.
And so I think if you worry about it's Friday the 13th, something's going to happen, you're giving that energy.
Right.
Hey, it's Friday.
Yeah.
For heaven's sakes,
right.
Let's celebrate that.
That's
always good.
There we go.
I know several people who have 13 as their favorite number.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then I'm always entertained that hotels don't have 13th floors.
I know.
But they do.
Right.
They just call it 14.
Yeah.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, because if you're on the 14th floor, you know what you're really on.
You know where you are.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It isn't so prevalent in other countries.
Oh, no? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so in other
American
countries, it's American thing.
Oh, okay.
Much more over.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, well, there's still, it's still there.
Yeah.
And so, it's not a big deal.
No.
It's not.
I think it's more fun to embrace it. Like it's kind of spooky.
Absolutely.
Not that something bad is
sure.
going to happen, but just almost like Halloween or something where it's just like, ooh, what's going to, this is a little spooky today.
What's going to happen? I like that too. That's very funny. Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay. This is the Chicago Botanical Gardens Orchid Show. And you are from Chicago.
Yes,
so
I am.
You live right there by it.
Yeah. I actually live walking distance from the Chicago Botanic Garden. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. So the Chicago Botanic Garden is in a town called Glencoe that is a suburb north of Chicago. So it's still in Cook County, but not in like downtown Chicago. So it's north of there. And it's in this really, really cool area. So it's this giant, it's 380 acres and it's on all these different islands. So there's this area called the
islands. Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's islands in the middle of a lake?
Yeah.
In the middle of Lake Michigan?
It's not Lake Michigan, so it's this area
Okay.
called the Skokie Lagoons, and so it's kind of where this river flows on one side, and then it all is kind of dispersed over all of these different islands. So the Skokie Lagoons, there's a park south of the Botanic Garden called the Skokie Lagoons, and that's just open to the public, and you can go walk on them, and people go fishing. And then the north part of it is the actual Botanic Garden, where you have to pay to go to enter, but that's where they have all the different flowers and plants and everything. So it's cool because there's all these little bridges. It's called the Japanese Island they have, and it's all Japanese themed, and there's bonsais, and you could take this like wooden bridge to get there. So it's a lot of fun because there's so much like water integrated into all these different gardens. So it's really, really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I love that. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
The Skokie Lagoons.
The Skokie Lagoons.
See, the Skokie Lagoons on Friday the 13th.
I know, it sounds spooky.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. At the Botanic Garden, there's different like events throughout the year, but the big thing that they do always in like February to March is the Orchid Show. In the middle of the garden, they have this whole indoor center where they do this orchid show, and it's always like a different theme. And so in the past, it's been they had Magnified one year, and they had these.
You told me about this.
That was incredible. I think that was one of my favorite, and they had these giant lenses, so these probably 3-foot tall like magnifying glasses that were hanging. And so you could grab them and rotate them yourself. And so you'd look at the orchids, and the orchids would be magnified, so they'd be bigger than your head. So you'd look at this tiny little orchid, put this magnifier on it, and you'd look at it, and it was gigantic. So it was a really, really cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there are, like Phalaenopsis orchids especially, have interiors that are reminiscent of birds.
Oh, yeah, right.
That the center of them and how the flower forms looks like a bird.
Yeah.
And so that would be really cool with those.
Yeah.
And then I'm also thinking like, there's not sunlight, so you can't like direct sunlight with a giant magnifying glass.
Light one on fire.
Be like a secret villain.
Yeah, right. Magnify a giant ant.
Interesting. Right. Yeah, exactly.
No, but so the Orchid Show, it's all interior, and then they have these greenhouses that is part of it as well. And so I think all the magnifiers were inside where there was no sunlight. So I don't think you could have lit anything on fire.
Because the orchids themselves, I mean, you talked about bonsai plants, you talked about orchids. Those are valuable items. I mean, they're very valuable to have a certain variety of thing there.
Right.
So
and there's over 10,000 orchids at the show currently. So there's that many. So it's this massive thing. So it's really,
and everything's blooming.
Yeah, everything's blooming. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a timing issue.
I know.
If they have to, or maybe they always bloom at that time.
I know.
Because of geographic climate and stuff, which could be. I mean, I don't know.
And they have like acres and acres of greenhouses at the Botanic Garden too. So I think that it's all kind of controlled, and they time everything out, I guess.
That's very similar to Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. My friend Debbie has all of these greenhouses where they can change out. Because they go in the middle of the night and they change all the plants. They change plants that have died.
Oh yeah,
and they will change everything.
Okay,
and then also the Bellagio in Las Vegas. So when you go into that botanical area, there's like these walkways, right? At night, all of the flower beds are on hydraulic lifts.
Oh,
and they go down 3 stories.
Whoa.
And those walkways are just like a catwalk, right? And then they change out all those plants down below, make all the mess, and then raise everything back up into place.
Oh, cool.
It's the craziest thing. It is wild.
Yeah.
It is wild. Well, it's Las Vegas. You have enough money so you can do whatever you wish.
Yeah.
But you would never think that, all those things go downstairs. And that's how they can care for the topiaries and things like that, or whatever. They do all that down below.
Oh,
so yeah,
cool.
So I mean, I think it's essential for botanical gardens to have backup.
Oh, right. Yes, I wonder if at the Chicago one, if they're swapping them out, at night, if there's ones that are, I don't know. Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Orchids are so stable.
Okay.
I would say stable in comparison.
Okay.
It's like, I know that like poinsettias can be a huge issue at Epcot because if they get a little bit cold, problem.
Okay.
So there can be big swap outs and stuff.
And because Jay might come by and eat one.
Right. That too. That too. I think it's so interesting too that you have the ability to change things and make it look important. They with this when they had the horrible low temperatures just
Oh,
recently,
right.
they covered everything. And they took a lot of the plants out because they are mobile and can be pulled out. So many times if you look at like the poinsettias or things, they're in their pot in the ground
Mm-hmm.
because it makes it easier to pull them out and they don't make as big a mess
Oh, okay.
when they're trying, and then they cover it with mulch again.
Okay.
So I mean, they are standing at the gates when the park closes at whatever time
Mm-hmm.
at 10 o'clock. They are standing there tapping their feet, and then as soon as the last person leaves, all the lights come on, and they work through the night to fix stuff.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
wild. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's and you're not allowed to film it.
No. Oh.
I've asked.
Oh.
So you're not allowed to film it. Sorry. It's magic. That's the
Yeah,
magic.
that's the magic.
Don't mess with the magic.
Well, so a few of the other themes that they've had in the past couple of years, so they actually hire this big set building company called Big City Sets,
Right.
and they actually are in the same building as where I work down in the city, and they build sets for commercials and TV shows and things like that.
Oh.
So they're this professional set building company, and they build these massive things and pieces of art and everything. So the past couple of years, they've had the High Tops it was like a circus theme, and so they had like a big tent and had all these like circus type things, the tightrope and everything. And then
Oh wow.
yeah, and then last year it was India Blooms, and it was all like Indian culture, and so they kind of made it seem like all this like Indian architecture and different types of like Indian themes. So it was very, very
That's
cool.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this year it's feeling groovy, and so it's 60s
You
and
had
70s.
sent me pictures of that.
Yeah.
So there's like the Volkswagen and all this.
Yeah, it's all very 60s and 70s. Yeah, the VW Bug that looked like, the Beach Boys rode it, and there was like
Right.
surfboards next to it, and then there's all these orchids spilling out of the sides. And they also had they took all these old vintage TVs and took the screen out and then put like orchids inside of the TVs.
How fun.
Yeah, so you look at
I
this
love
old like
that.
tube TV, and there's orchids inside, and then next to it they have like different TV shows, but made it seem orchid themed. So instead of the Brady Bunch, it's like the Orchid Bunch, and instead of I Dream of Jeannie, it's like I Dream of Orchid.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Did they make like a genie bottle?
It was like a painting of the genie bottle on the inside, so it looks
Okay.
like the logo for I Dream of Jeannie.
They
Yeah.
should have done like the one where she would go inside it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
and
yeah.
have it be like you could be inside the bottle.
Yeah. Oh, that would have. Well, they. It's funny you say that because they did have a giant lava lamp. So like a massive lava lamp.
Wow.
Yeah, without lava in the inside, it was all just decorated with orchids.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. So it's cool. There's some big things that they make. There's some like miniatures, so it's all fun. They also have like it looks like a motel sign. So it says the Greenhouse Motel, but it's all those neon signs like you'd see back in the
Right.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah, Route 66
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so it's super cool. And then they also, one of my favorite things that they took a bunch of old vinyl records and they actually I don't know if they melted them, but they bent them up so there's like a lip on them, hung them on the wall, then planted orchids on them. I'll send you a picture, Jay, so we can share
That's
it. Yeah.
fabulous. Yeah.
But so it's these, like vinyl records, and then there's just they're folded up, and then there's orchids coming over the side. It was really cool.
Oh, that's very fun.
Yeah.
So when is this on?
This starts in mid-February and goes through mid-March. So I think, unfortunately,
Okay.
when this episode comes
Airs.
out, it'll be over. Next year, they do it every year. So it's something you can get excited about for next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can go online and buy tickets.
Yeah, you can go online and buy tickets. And something interesting that they're doing this year, they're doing and Amanda and I love this, it's like an adults only after hours thing. So it's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna go again, and I think it's one of the last nights that they're open. You can get cocktails there. You can walk around, and then they're actually doing what's called have you heard of a silent disco?
No.
So
I want to know.
So
Tell me.
I've done this before at music festivals. So back years
Okay.
ago, I used to go to like Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza and Coachella and all those music festivals. And this is
Wow.
a big thing at those festivals is a silent disco. And they have a whole like dance floor or like a tented area where there's somebody DJing. And when you walk in, they give you headphones. And so when you're standing there, if you don't have the headphones on, you can't hear any music. But if you put the headphones on, you can hear it. So it's funny because you'll stand in this huge group of people and take your headphones off, and it's completely silent, and you're looking around and everybody's like
Wow.
dancing, and then once you put the headphones on, you can hear the same music as everyone around you.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I think what that means for the Botanic Garden is they'll hand you headphones when you get there. You put them on, and then everybody's listening to the same radio station, and there's a DJ that's there you're listening to. And if you take it off, it's just completely silent.
So what's the purpose? Was it created to like fight noise pollution, or?
I think it's just kind of a fun gimmick thing. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just kind of a goofy experience because it is weird when you take off the headphones and you're surrounded by hundreds of people and everybody's dancing and there's no music.
Okay, so here's my next question. Can you control the volume of what you're listening to?
That's a good question.
Like, does your headphones allow you to control that?
I think so.
Here's my deal.
Yeah.
I would go to more concerts.
Yeah.
But I don't like the ringing in my ears for 4 days after.
Right.
And I don't like wearing earplug,
right?
Because I feel like I'm not hearing the music like I would want to hear it.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis talks about this all the time, about having these concerts that should be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon so we can all be home by 4 o'clock.
Right.
And they're not as loud.
Yeah.
For those and I mean, I think that's interesting from that. That would be my question.
Right. I think you can adjust the volume because I can't imagine that it's all just at one and
all super loud.
Yeah, right. That's why people are taking it up.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And is it, so here's another question. Is it always disco?
No. So I think they just call it the silent disco. I bet for this feeling groovy, I bet there will be some disco mixed in maybe with 60s and 70s. When I've gone to like other music festivals, it's just any genre. So it's a lot of like dance music because it's kind of fun to get everybody moving.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Kelly and I used to go to things like that.
Yeah.
When we were younger, but go to dance parties.
Yeah.
We would try and find the place that was the furthest away from the speakers.
Oh, right. That's smart.
So that it wouldn't be so loud. But there would be people who were like next to the speaker.
I know. I don't.
And we would have friends who would be like, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. We went to the dance party last night."
Right.
Like, yeah, because your hearing is something that you can't get back.
No.
Just destroy it. So yeah, I think it's brilliant. I'm gonna do some more research. I'll put some links down below. For silent disco for people who are like me who did not know about what it was. Have you done it there? Have you gone to the silent disco?
No. I think this is the first time they're doing it. So I think there's only like 2 nights that they're doing it, and we're going to
Are you gonna go?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the second night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But I don't think they've done it so far. So I think it's going to be like next Friday and Saturday, and we're going Saturday, I think. So so I'll let you know how it is.
It's interesting when you talk about orchid shows, because there is also an orchid show at Meyer Gardens here, our botanical garden. And Frederick Meyer Gardens is a sculpture park. They have an orchid show every year, and people come and you can buy orchids there, and you can show your orchids, and there's contests, and they're very, very proactive about having local events. I mean, we're going to film their bonsai convention on Mother's Day weekend. We're also I'm speaking at, and we're also going to film the Dahlia. The National Dahlia Show is going to be at Frederick Meyer Gardens this year.
Really cool.
So we're going to go film that, and then I'm also giving a program there, and the program I'm giving is actually for the Michigan Dahlia Society, but they're acting together. But they also have this orchid show, so I mean, it makes me wonder. I've never been. They also have a chrysanthemum show. I mean, so there's all these things, right?
Yeah.
So your botanical garden, how far? So you said it's walking distance.
Yeah.
How far do you have to walk?
It's less than a mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's so big too that there's so many different things to see that we'll walk there and just go see like part of it, and then go home, and then the next day go see another part. So it's nice living that close. I mean, obviously in the in the winter there isn't as much to see. It's more just going to the greenhouses and everything. But when you're there in the spring and the summer, I mean, you could spend all day and not even see everything there. So
can you become a member? So you're a member, so you can go whenever you want.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So that's why you use it as an entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I believe the membership has like reciprocity to other botanic gardens too.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in Santa Barbara a few years ago, and they had a botanic garden there, and we were like, we have a Chicago Botanic Garden membership. Does that get us access here? And they were like, actually it does. So it's funny how a lot of these places are all under the same network, and you can kind of if you get a membership to one, you get access to others.
I looked at that one.
Oh.
Because we couldn't go there because there were no appointments left.
Oh, okay.
The Santa Barbara one, you have to make appointments on some days for some things. And we looked at it, and we couldn't get in while we were there because we were going to go do it.
Okay.
But yeah.
The Santa Barbara one's really cool. It's kind of in this valley, like up in the mountains.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of elevation. We were like out of breath because you're huffing and puffing going up and down. But it's really cool because there's all these kind of like microclimates. So you go, in one area and it's super dry, and then you walk to another part of it and everything is all green and massive and really, I don't know, vegetated. So it's cool.
Did you know flowers perform best in clean water with the precise food? Chryso flower food is formulated by scientists to prolong the vase life of flowers as much as possible, and it's easy to use. I always choose Chryso flower food because it feeds the flowers, resulting in vibrant color and enhanced fragrance, while also keeping bacteria levels down. My personal favorite product is Chryso Professional 3. If you want to experience the benefits, Chryso flower food products are available at their website, chrysoflowerfood.com. That's CHRYSAL flowerfood.com. And be sure to use our discount code UBloom10 for 10% off your purchase. Support the joy of flowers. The Life in Bloom Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to flower education and inspiring a love of flowers in everyone. The foundation helps fund the production of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom on public television, making it possible for viewers across the country to enjoy the beauty and benefits of flowers. The foundation also provides free flower education to high schools, colleges, and floriculture programs through ubloom.com, helping students and future florists bloom in their own careers. Your donation in any amount makes a difference. Plus, all contributions are 100% tax deductible. If you'd like to help us continue sharing the power of flowers, visit the lifeinbloomfoundation.org to donate today. Thank you for your support. I just think, everywhere you go, you're going to have that. You're going to have different climate. And being able to do it in Palm Springs, the zoo and the Botanic Garden are joined.
Oh, cool. Oh.
Which is really interesting. And they also have, in that zoo, they have a walkthrough portion of the zoo for Australia. So the animals are out with you in the enclosure. So there's kangaroos hopping by you.
Cool.
And you can't touch the animals because if you touch them, then you're escorted out.
Oh, yeah.
But, and you have to make way for them. You have to give. And I think it's a challenge for people who have children because the kids are like, kangaroo, they're like, you have to leave now. But I think that's interesting as a concept too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I would definitely recommend if you're in Chicago, checking out the Botanic Garden.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that there's a connection for you with the people who build the props for it.
Yeah. It was so funny because they don't have any recognition at the actual event. There's no like, this is made by Big City Sets.
Oh, got it.
But I follow them on their social media. And so I saw them like making a few years ago all the stuff for like I mentioned like the circus thing. So they like post things that they're working on in their workshop, and it's like all these like the big top and all these like tents and like circus stuff. And I was like, is this for the Botanic Garden? And they're like, oh yeah, it is. We do it every year.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What a great fun job to have too.
I know.
Building props is really fun.
Yeah.
And I think I have a friend, Manny Majurek. I want to go to her place one day and film with her. It's called Hot House Design Studio. But she builds all these props for rentals.
Oh.
So like circular bars or half moon bars or a moon gate that can be covered with flowers. And then, she has all kinds of stuff like that. And I think that people can rent in Birmingham, Alabama for their weddings or events that they're going to have.
Oh, that's really cool.
She has a whole staff of like set builders who build that, because also it needs to be durable
Right.
so it doesn't get damaged, but it also has to be mobile so it can move in and out.
Oh, right.
And so you got, and it's like those vinyl records that are bent.
Yeah.
That just sounds fabulous.
I know, and I
That's
wonder what
wonderful.
happens to all this stuff when it's over, because there's a lot of this stuff where it's like, does this just go in storage? Does it get demolished or, repurposed?
Oh,
'Cause
sure.
all this stuff lives for like, a month at this place, and then I hope somebody gets it and now gets that like in their house or something cool.
I mean, maybe they can sell it. Maybe they can rent it again.
Yeah, right.
Maybe some places demolish things and reuse the stuff.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can always remember when we were building sets in high school in the theater department,
Yeah.
that the back of something you'd be like, oh, this was in 4 other plays besides this,
Right.
because it's been rehabbed and redone.
Yeah, there's 10
And I
layers of
think
paint.
that's interesting. Yeah, or pieces and parts that came from something else. And you're like, oh, that was from this, that was from that was from this. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I would love all these vinyl records to hang those in my apartment. I
Yeah.
have a record player and listen to records on my own. So when I saw all those like repurposed ones to like hang flowers off of, I was like, that's a really cool idea.
I got a case of records from Kelly's mom.
Oh,
And so it's all of these old jazz records.
wow.
And so then I bought a record player that you can play them and it will convert it to an MP4 file.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I've never used it,
Oh,
but I have
yeah.
it. And I have those records.
Yeah.
She has an original Whipped Cream album from Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh, yeah.
That's in there too.
Oh, yeah.
And they're heavy. They're so heavy.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, oh no, I'll take those. That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's very fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you have an orchid story, Jay, right?
I have an orchid story.
Okay.
Okay. My great grandfather, Charles Green, bought an orchid plant for Katie, his wife, and it was a Cattleya orchid. It's a purple and pink one. It has purple feather petals, and then the throat is like a magenta with a yellow cast on it.
Oh.
And they're big. I mean, they're an orchid's probably the size of my face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on my head. It's a big orchid. So
Okay.
Cattleya orchids are the biggest ones.
Oh.
You have, and I'm not saying, am I saying that right? Yes, Cattleyas. Cymbidiums are the ones that grow on a spray, so they're smaller. Phalaenopsis are the ones that look like butterflies. They grow on a spray. Oncidiums are little tiny ones. So the Cattleya orchid is a big orchid. And so we put it in the greenhouse. He bought it for their anniversary or birthday. I'm not quite sure. So, and I don't know if anybody knows anymore, because obviously my grandpa never let the truth stand in the way of a good story. So, but he's gone. He would know. He would absolutely know why they bought it. So then they started dividing them. As they would get bigger, they would divide them. And every year we would take down these big orchids that were, the root ball was like the size of a bushel basket or bigger. We would take a machete and just chop it into like 8 pieces, and then put those 8 pieces into smaller pots and hang them in the greenhouse. Well, after a period of time, we probably had 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen of them.
Wow.
Who knows?
Whoa.
Right?
Uh-huh.
The original orchid. So I'm going to say that orchid, but all of the orchids. This is the weird thing. Okay, so this is yet another weird thing. And Sam, you can listen to this when you're editing, because you'll like, this is a weird thing. Whenever something happens in our family, whether it's Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a wedding, one of those orchids would be blooming. And when my Aunt Alice got married, my grandpa made her bouquet out of those orchids. And she had a going away corsage, because that was when the bride would change clothes and then they would leave in a different outfit, and then they'd have a going away corsage. There was a Cattleya orchid. My sister had a going away corsage at her wedding from that orchid plant. When my dad died, that orchid plant bloomed, and so we made an arrangement with that orchid plant. When and when my mom died, they had a couple of the blooms, and so my sister had them stick those in her casket spray. So, it's just funny that orchid is very much a part of our lives. Well, now the greenhouse and all of that is gone, and so the person who bought the greenhouse didn't want it to be a flower shop anymore and turned it into a bar. So it's a bar now.
Oh.
The greenhouses are gone, though, and that's where you keep orchids. You don't keep orchids, in unless you're really good at it in
Mhm.
your home.
Mhm.
You know, they're hard to care for.
Mhm.
And so I was talking to my cousin the other day, and I was lamenting the fact that orchid doesn't exist anymore because all those are gone. What happened to those? And she said, "Oh no, wait, my brother Stacy, he lives in an island off of South America. He's a scuba guy, and him and his wife moved down there.
Oh.
And they took one of those orchids and actually have cultivated a couple more. So they have that
No
orchid.
way. Oh,
So
cool.
that orchid is still there at he lives in Bonaire. That's where he lives. Okay, because I can never remember that. He lives in Bonaire. And so he has one of those orchids. And it will bloom
Wow.
on occasion. He will send pictures to my cousin Sue and be like, "Hey, the orchid's blooming. It is. What's going on?" You know,
Oh.
and stuff like that. You know, but I think it's really cool that it's transcended 4 generations. It's
Wow.
still that plant
Yeah.
is still down there. And I
Yeah.
think that that's one of those things that is about memory.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite questions to ask people is, what's your first memory of flowers? They can tell you. Nobody ever says, "Oh, I don't know." They can tell you. I'm like, what's your first memory of flowers?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say up in Michigan, when I would go to Corey Lake, which I've told you
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, so there was like on the shore, there were these little flowers that would, and I don't even know what kind they were, but that would bloom, and you could pull the petals out and suck on them, and they were sweet. And
Were they red or
um,
were they purple?
they were purple.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a salvia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
It's a salvia,
yeah.
and so
It's
you
a
can pull
yeah.
that out of a salvia and you can suck on it, and
Yes.
that's why hummingbirds love them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so you can do it with red ones or purple ones.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there was
Yeah.
a mint plant next to it, and so we would eat the mint leaves too. So I remember being a little kid, and it was like you're at the little buffet. It was like we'd eat mint, and then we'd eat our little sweet salvia.
Well, and okay, so here
Mhm.
I'm going to make a couple points about that story.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Number one, you didn't know what the plant was called,
Mhm.
but you did know it was a flower, and you remember your experience with it.
Yes, true. Mhm.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
My friend Lorraine, we just went to visit her the other day. She's going to turn 95 in July. She's in an extended care facility in Muskegon. So we went up to the museum, and then we stopped and saw Lorraine, took her some flowers. In the show, we have a show on with the sorority sisters, and she talks about it. And I said, "What's your first memory of flowers?" And she said, "When we were in school, we would go out into the forest at recess, and we would find flowers, and we'd pick them and smell them."
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, "You know what were they? I don't know. You know, they could have been they could have been trillium for all I know, because trillium in Michigan you can't pick trillium. You're
Oh.
not supposed to pick trillium. Okay, so it's a flower that grows in the wetlands and stuff. And we have trillium in our back down in the wetlands, but we don't ever touch it. But you know, you're not supposed to. So I think that that's one of those things is, what is that memory? You know, and our family has this memory, this crazy orchid plant
Yeah.
that, you know, has always bloomed. And I don't know whether it was the proliferation of having, you know, 24 of those plants that there would always be, but there were periods of time when there were no orchids. And I can remember somebody saying, "Hey, look and see if there's an orchid blooming." There's not. You
Mhm.
know, and it was like for prom or something, you know, it wouldn't have mattered for anyone,
Oh,
you know, but
right.
it was just like, but also making sure that we would have them and cut them and then put them into coolers so that we could use them on a regular basis too, and have them be in arrangements. And it's funny. So when I'll put this one up too, about the famous matching couple. So when Yahoo came and did a video about my mom and dad having all their clothing that matches, right?
Mhm.
I went there, flew there for that, and there was the orchid was blooming. My dad cuts the orchid and then puts it in, and I'm making it into an arrangement on the counter when they were there for filming this event, which was like right at the beginning of the internet. I mean, I think
Oh.
it's really interesting because if you put in famous matching couple,
Mhm.
Yahoo, or something like that, it comes up.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's there, and so I'll put the link down below, and it's a short little thing, but it just talked about how they wore all these matching their clothes matched.
Yeah.
You know, so they
Mhm.
had 167 pairs of matching clothes. Neither here nor there. That my sister then had to figure out what to do with, because my mother, you know, forbid her to give them away to Goodwill, and I was just like, "What are you going to do with them?" You know.
Mhm.
And my mom had this dream that the Smithsonian wanted them.
Oh.
They didn't
No.
want them.
Aw.
No, no, they did not want the dresses. But yeah, so I mean, but I think it's interesting that, so even for that, that was captured on film.
Oh, right,
You
right.
know,
Mhm.
and it has nothing to do with Yolanda, that my sister also talks about in the terrarium episode. Yolanda is not the family orchid.
Okay, different.
It's different. The Yolanda is something that my sister and Kari Edie dreamed up. So there's that. But yeah.
Well, I love that the orchid you're talking about still carries that same meaning all these generations later. Like you said, that the person, the scuba diver, when it blooms, sends a picture and is like, what's going on? It's like, that, this has meaning after all this time. So I think that's a really, really cool thing.
That's my cousin Stacy, who is 2 years younger than me. And he's Alice, my Aunt Alice's son, and he's the youngest. So Stacy and I ran around together as kids.
Okay.
And then they had 2 older children, Billy and Sue, and they were older. Like Stacy was an afterthought like me, So then my sisters Jo and Cindy are Sue and Billy's age. Billy has passed away, but Sue is still in Fremont, and my sister's still in Fremont, and my other sister lives in Dallas.
Okay.
So so that's but it's like it's a family thing. And Stacy and Lori took early retirement and moved to Bonaire because they love to scuba.
Wow,
and
what a life.
It's a Dutch colony.
Oh, okay, cool.
But they're still American citizens.
Okay,
so they're expats or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's too much stuff for me to know. Yeah, too much stuff for me to know. But yeah, but they do that, and they love to scuba, and they have amazing photographs, and they can scuba in Bonaire.
Cool.
Always. So that's good. And people have gone to see them. I have not. Troy, my neighbor, is going to go see my cousin.
Oh.
And scuba, because Troy scubas.
Oh.
So Troy, he's like, you have a cousin who lives in Bonaire? What's his name? Here, give me his number. I'm like, here. And he's like, I'm going to go see him. And I'm just like, all right, go.
That's hilarious.
You should go along. No, you guys go scuba. I'm not going to scuba. Sorry. Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you for sharing all this information about the Orchid Show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love that you can walk to it.
Yeah.
And it's that close. I would be there all the time.
I go pretty much every weekend in the spring, summer, and fall.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there little coffee shops or stuff?
There are.
There's
So inside of the garden, there's a coffee shop. There's actually there's a grill too, so you can get like a burger and sit outside.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So it's
wow.
Yeah, and you can get a beer, you can get a glass of wine and walk around.
Oh, that's better even. I love that.
It was funny. So we went with this other couple that we're friends with when we went to the Orchid Show, and they both had a glass of wine, and I think they were the only people that like knew that you could get a glass of wine. So we had like a half dozen people walk up to us and be like, "Where did you get that?"
Do you have that in your coat?
Yeah.
May we have some?
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am pretty positive. I don't think the Frederick Meyer Garden Center Sculpture Park allows you to have a beer and wine and walk around. I think there's a Dutch influence there that would stop that.
That's the devil.
Yeah, exactly. But not for me.
Yeah,
I think that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Anytime someone's like, oh, and when we went to the ABBA concert in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this was just shocking to me. I was like, oh, we can get champagne. You can get food there too. You can get chicken noodle soup. You can get there's all this stuff all this food.
Yeah.
And I said champagne, and they said, well, do you want a bottle? And I said, well, yeah, and they said, you can take it to your seat. We took bottles of champagne to our seats, and we're pouring stuff at the ABBA concert.
That's incredible.
With Grace and Nick, and we were just like, this is incredible. Yeah. And Grace like, I'm going to go get another bottle. And I was like, we will be right here.
That's awesome.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was really fun, and I loved it. We're going to Soho in London to the theater district to see Jinx Monsoon in End of the Rainbow in London. That, with your ticket, you get a pizza.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
And so you get there early and you have a pizza, and you can drink and have a pizza if you can buy your ticket with the pizza, or you can buy a ticket without the pizza.
Yeah, but you got to do it with.
Well, why would you not have the pizza?
Yeah.
I'm going to have the pizza, of course. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's interesting that's a whole different,
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
It makes it fun.
But yeah, you could take the champagne, that they trusted you to take your champagne bottle to your seat, and you wouldn't throw it or something.
Right.
But it's Sweden. People are civilized.
Right. Yeah, that's not going to happen there.
Oh, it's actually London. Sorry, yeah, it's in London.
Oh,
Kelly's telling me it's in London. It's not in Sweden. But the Swedes are very civilized.
Yes, yeah.
But London is also civilized, so there's that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a London thing. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks for joining us this week on Behind the Bloom podcast with Jay Schwanke and RJ Poole. If you loved what you heard, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. and share it with a friend to help us spread the joy one bloom at a time. Thank you for taking the time to slow down with us, and hopefully you left feeling a little lighter and inspired to try something new. Make sure to join us next week for a brand new episode. Thanks for being here with us, Behind the Bloom. Hey, just one more thing. If you love flowers, you've got to check out ubloom.com. It's the online home of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom, where you can stream every episode for free. Plus, you'll find Behind the Bloom videos, my blog, show recipes, and so much more. There's also a massive video archive, over 1,800 how-to videos, flower farm documentaries, and even my very first series, JTV. All Life in Bloom episodes, exclusive web content, and farm documentaries are totally free. Just sign up with your email. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there's a paid subscription option that unlocks the full library of how-to videos. Everything from creating bridal bouquets to centerpieces, corsages, and more. Tons of content to explore. You're gonna love it.